Shalom everyone, I hope you're all okay and that you're doing well, you and your families, Ezrat Hashem. This video is a Tanakh video referring to the what we did in Perek Kaf, especially the death of Miriam, the first part of the Perek, the death of Miriam and the sin of Mei Meriva, that because of that, Moshe and Aaron did not go into Eretz Yisrael, or punished by not going to Eretz Yisrael. The first thing that has to be asked is the seemingly connection between the death of Miriam and the shortage of water. It says that Miriam died, Talmud Shem Miriam, Vatikaver Sham, she died and she was buried there, and there was no water. What's the connection between those two? And Rashi there brings the very famous Midrash that says that Am Yisrael received three gifts from HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the desert. Water from the rock. Number 2 is the man. And number 3 is the clouds of glory that protected them, surrounded them, and protected them in the desert. And the Midrash says that each gift was given to Am Yisrael in the zchut, in the merit of one of the leaders. I'll start from the end. The clouds of glory were in the merit of Aharon, the man in the merit of Moshe, and the well, the water springing forth from the stone, is in the merit of Miriam. And therefore, when she passed away, her merit was gone, and the well couldn't continue to give out water if Miriam had died, and therefore Moshe had to bring that merit as it is upon himself, accept it upon his own zchuyot, his own good deeds, and that should be the reason. But there had to be a transfer from Miriam to Moshe, and that is why after Miriam passed away, the water stopped. By the way, there's a lot of many midrashim that refer to the be'er, the well, as be'era shel Miriam, Miriam's well. There's a very famous tradition that after Am Yisrael came into Eretz Yisrael, that well, that stone rock, was brought to the Kinneret, and is in the Kinneret until this very day. There are all stories about Mekubalim that knew exactly where the well was, and they would take water out, and they would say, "This is a special water." Could be it's very big rabbis dealt with it. I definitely do not have any knowledge of where Be'er Miriam is today, but maybe there are rabbis that do. That's the first issue. The second issue is the issue of the punishment of Moshe and Aaron. And first, before I continue, I want to say a cautionary couple sentences. First of all, we're dealing with the Gdolei Olam, the giants, amazing people, very special people, very big tzaddikim, talking about their sins. It's not like, they made a mistake and they did whatever. No, this is heavy stuff. And so the issue, I think, is maybe what we can learn from these mistakes. The Torah doesn't cover up. Tanakh, generally speaking, doesn't cover up for its main characters. It brings very clearly what it thinks about them and their mistakes. Also tells us how to learn from the mistakes. And the point is now not to judge Moshe and Aaron, but rather to learn from it and see how we ourselves grow from what's written in the Torah. That's what's important. There's a book, I think, that lists all nobody really understands what exactly Moshe did. And there's a book that lists many sins. It ends up that Moshe has, hundreds of sins, possible sins from this one incident. In any case, there are a couple questions that need to be asked when we talk about this this issue, this story of Mei Meriva, the waters of strife, and I think there are three main difficulties that come up through the psukim. The first is, what exactly did Moshe do? What is his fault? What is he guilty of doing? It's very unclear. What exactly was the problem? What did he did? The second question is, what is Aaron's part? How is Aaron punished? Why is he punished for this? This is something that he, how is he to blame for what happened here? And the third issue, and the third difficulty that comes, is how severe. It says that, and you all wrote on your worksheets that Moshe didn't do a Kiddush Hashem. Doing Kiddush Hashem? Wow. What did he do that did a Chilul Hashem? He was punished for not going to Eretz Yisrael for what? How is there any balance between the severity of the action and the severity of the punishment? Those are three questions that we'll try to deal with in this from this class on. In this class from now on. First one is very famously Rashi. Rashi says very clearly in the Psukim that Hashem told Moshe to talk to the rock, and he struck the rock. Rashi doesn't explain what Aaron's fault was, but we still have to understand why is that so severe. And Rashi explains that explains the following. It says that if Moshe would have talked to the rock, and brought the water would have come forth, Am Yisrael would have said, "Oh, this rock doesn't speak, it doesn't hear, it doesn't need anything, it doesn't need rock is a rock. It's very happy as it is, but it still accepts and does the commandment of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. We hear and we understand and that we need things, and we have an intellect. Then we should definitely listen to Hashem." And that was something that Moshe could have done, that Am Yisrael could have learned from, and they didn't. They couldn't learn from this because he just hit the rock. A force, okay, a rock doesn't understand. It's not that. Rashi's saying that if Moshe would have talked to the rock, he would have regarded the rock as something with intellect. And by doing that, Am Yisrael would have said, the rock doesn't have intellect, but it listens to Hashem. We have intellect, we should definitely listen to Hashem. That was missed out by hitting the rock. Maybe, according to Rashi, Aaron's fault was that he didn't stop him. I'm not sure. He doesn't mention it. The Rambam explains differently. He says that the sin of Moshe was that Moshe got angry. Moshe got angry at the nation, and that was unneeded. There's no need to be angry. People didn't have water. That's a major problem. That's not something that you can say, "Oh, okay." No, it's a major problem. They had no water. They were in the desert. They had no water. And therefore, Moshe shouldn't have become angry. The severity of that sin was that the nation understood that Hashem is angry at them, and Hashem wasn't angry at them. Therefore, it turns out that Moshe did like a chilul shem shamayim. He said, it seems like Hashem is angry at you guys for asking for water, which wasn't true. And therefore, there could have been a Kiddush Hashem, that Hashem understands that you have a problem. Hashem understands that there's a difficulty, and He's giving you a solution. No anger involved. That would have been Kiddush Hashem. But here it seems that Hashem is angry because we asked for water. It seems strange, but because of that, that's why Hashem is mad at us. And therefore, that's a very severe chet. That really distancing the nation, or the nation felt distance from Hashem through what happened with Moshe. The third opinion I'd like to bring is that of Rabbeinu Hananel. Rabbeinu Hananel says that Moshe and Aharon said to the nation, "Hamin hasela hazen notzi lachem mayim." Will we bring water out of this rock? And that wasn't the right thing to say. It wasn't that Moshe and Aaron are bringing water out of the rock. Hashem is bringing water out of the rock. But they said notzi. Notzi is we will do it. But it's not them. It's not them. It's Hashem. And the severity of the sin is that some of the nation understood that Moshe and Aaron have these magical powers to bring water out of a rock. It has nothing to do with God, which is totally untrue, because the ones Hashem is the only one who has the power to bring water out of a rock. Moshe can't do that. Aaron can't do that. But by saying Notzi lachem mayim, shall we bring water out of this rock, it gave some people the mistaken understanding that Moshe and Aaron are to be thanked. And Moshe and Aaron are the ones who are able to bring water out of the rock when Hashem is not. There's a very, very famous Abarbanel. I know Rav Hillel went over it with you. I think it's a bit long for YouTube video. I highly recommend understanding the Abarbanel. Anybody who adds that to the worksheet will get extra credit. Be'atzlacha. Shalom, shalom.